You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I am Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
Are you making fun of me?
A little.
Rude.
Today we're going to be talking about the 6th episode of the 3rd season of Doctor Who, The Lazarus Experiment, which aired May 5th, 2007.
True facts!
It's a little after that here. It's a little after 2007.
It's a little after 2007 right now.
Right now.
And it will be tomorrow and a while after that.
Every subsequent day, we're just getting further and further from 2007. Is that the truth?
That's the truth.
Cool. Anything we need to bullshit about before we dive into this episode?
No!
Then let's dive into this episode. Okay, I'm going to do a summary and then we'll talk about this thing. I've got an alternate title for the Lazarus Experiment. You ready for it?
I can tell by your tone I'm gonna hate it.
It's called We Have Regeneration at Home.
Alright.
After dropping Martha Jones off at home, the doctor gets sucked into a new mystery. Martha's sister's elderly boss is having a party to celebrate a new scientific discovery. At the party, he gets in a device that makes him young. Unfortunately, it also makes him real hungry for people's life force, and he turns into a giant CGI monster in order to feed. He is eventually defeated by a church organ, and the doctor brings Martha on as a full-time companion. But her mother has gotten word from Mr. Saxon that the doctor is up to no good. That is the episode.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
We did it.
Good work, everybody.
Alright, that's the shortest episode we've ever done. That's not even 2 minutes. No, we should probably talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Thoughts?
It's bad. It's not bad, it's just nothing.
It's
just nothing.
if we can't say that the Lazarus Experiment was bad, what can we say is bad?
You know what? Fair enough. It's just nothing's happening in it.
Yeah.
They go to the party, he becomes young, and then they just chase scenes after that. Until he dies. That's all that happens. Anything else happen?
I think we meet Martha's family. That's kind of important.
Did you know they dubbed over parts of it because they decided to change the name of her sister from Patricia to Letitia?
Why?
Don't know, because they call her Tish a lot, which can be short for either one of those names. Do you feel like we learned anything new about Martha's family?
Her mom's real mean.
A little bit. Her sister is grossed out by an old guy, but is ready to bone him the second he becomes Mark Gatiss. I don't understand that.
I don't want to be rude, but I don't understand it either.
What do you think about Mark Gatiss's performance?
He's clearly having fun. And you know what?
I'm glad someone is.
Yeah, good for him. It's real good someone's having fun.
Here's the thing. Originally, Professor Lazarus was working on developing invulnerable synthetic skin. This was dropped because RTD feared that this might be part of the plot of Spider-Man 3, which was due for release around the same time the episode would likely air. Instead, they changed it to this whole church organ thing, sound, which is exactly what happens at the end of Spider-Man 3.
That is actually pretty... You're right.
They changed the thing so it wouldn't be Spider-Man 3 and then wound up doing Spider-Man 3. Absolutely buck wild. A couple things I like in this episode.
Let's have them.
The James Bond joke's pretty good. When Martha says he looks like James Bond and he's like, James Bond? And I like the bit when the doctor meets Martha's mom. And he just puts his whole foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
Because he can't say, like, we just went off on, like, weird random adventures. But it just comes off like they totally fucked. And they met last night and fucked. Is what it comes across as. Well, so, and what have you two done? Stuff. That's pretty good. And that's it. That's pretty much the only good thing I've got.
Other things must happen in it.
Mark Gatiss does weird things with his body a lot.
Gatiss is good at that, acting like he's having some sort of attack.
There's that one shot that's just a close-up of the back of his head as he, like,
the
pops his
noises,
neck.
too, that they chose the worst.
I think I think the old age makeup looks pretty good.
Sure.
And he's doing a lot of mannerisms to indicate that he's old. He does a lot of weird things with his mouth.
I'm sorry. I did notice this. What weird things did he do with his mouth to indicate that he was old?
He's like smacking his lips a lot.
Like old people do.
I guess. Especially in that scene when he's like, you smell real good. What is that? She's like, soap.
I fully don't understand her sister as a character because that's wild to me.
Right. It's like, no thank you. And then he's young. She's like, well, maybe. No! He's still gross and disgusting.
Right, he was as gross as he was in the beginning.
Also, the episode sets him up as gross and disgusting. And then later is like, oh,
to be clear, we're not talking about looks.
No, we're just talking about, like, yeah, he's a gross old man.
Yes.
He's hitting on this woman and being gross about it. And then he becomes young and is, like, even worse. I guess that's his wife. I don't know what she's supposed to be. His partner?
I think they're married.
Okay. But he's basically like, fuck you, I'm young, I don't need you anymore, to her. And they set up all this stuff about him being a not nice guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I guess also he had some traumatic World War II stuff going on. So he's sympathetic a little bit, right? No. You did that too late. I don't really care. Well, like, there's a whole ass scene in the church where him and the doctor talk forever. And it just goes on and on. I can't even tell you what that scene was about.
I mean, I think it was about his tragic backstory, wasn't it? Where he was like, oh, I'm doing this because I needed a sense of safety.
Oh, yeah. Because he had hit out there.
I almost died, and then I vowed I would never die again. Or something. But then he became a spider that eats people, and that's really neither here nor there.
How do you feel about that giant PlayStation 1 era looking monster?
I mean, you really asked the question in a loaded way.
I sure did.
I think it looked great. No, I genuinely didn't remember that we saw that much of it.
Oh, we see it a lot.
We see it a lot.
I think the biggest problem with it is it's very bony, but it doesn't feel like there's any depth to it. Like, I feel like there's parts of it you should see through, but it just looks like a flat pattern.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I think's not. I mean, there's a lot that's not working about it. They put his face on it, but it doesn't look like his face.
It does look like straight up like a PlayStation graphic.
It does. I will say it's not as bad as I remembered it. I remembered it being worse. Like, it does interact with the environment in a way that kind of sells it a little bit.
Yeah. But
it's bad. It's not good. Also, why is it so big? How does all of that come out of Mark Gatiss?
I do like that the concept is that thing specifically is just laying dormant in our DNA.
Yeah.
Like, in what part of the Divergent evolution were we a big spider monster that sucked people's souls? That was an option. That's the plot.
Yeah.
That was an option that a road we didn't go down.
That has been unlocked, yeah. I'd say more scorpion than spider.
You're right. You are correct.
The big tail thing. It's just very ugly. Would you want to be that creature?
Yes.
Even if you had to eat all your friends?
Especially then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've talked about Mark Gatiss's old age makeup. We've talked about his CGI glow up. We've talked about
his CGI glow up.
His weird body tics that he does when he's, turning into a monster that he's pretty good at. How we feel about Mark Gatiss's nude body. He's naked in this more than once.
He is naked in it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I think next time we go to a Doctor Who convention, I'm going to cosplay as naked Mark Gatiss. How do you turn that into a cosplay? Do you think anyone's ever cosplayed Lazarus just in general?
No. No, I don't. I don't think that.
You could do the old guy, and that'd be, visually distinctive. You're looking at me like I'm an idiot.
I'm trying to imagine you. I'm imagining you dressed as an old man explaining to people that you're Lazarus from the Lazarus Experiment. And even Doctor Who fans are like,
okay.
Okay.
And then I take the mask off, and then I'm young.
You're naked?
Yeah, I'm naked. Oh, that's not his real hair either when he's young. That's a wig.
That makes sense. It looked awful.
Here's the thing. They wanted him to be blonde. I think he had shaved his head for something else.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have a blonde wig that I used on League of Gentlemen, the show he did. He's like, I got that. Can we use that? And they're like, sure, bring it in. And it's his own wig. Wig he used for a completely different show. Huh. It doesn't suit him, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm more used to him having darker hair.
That he just looks off.
Yeah.
He doesn't look suave.
He doesn't.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't look like, oh, I'm young and handsome now. Like, he can. He doesn't in this episode.
Do you think he's suave as, what's his name in Sherlock? He's the brother.
He looks better in that.
Oh, what's his name?
Mycroft.
Yeah, Mycroft. All I could think of was Moriarty, and that's not the right guy.
Oh, Moriarty's the bad guy.
The only other note I have is Harold Saxon. Like, so this is the first time we gotten his first name. They bring him up quite a bit. There's this sketchy guy that gets going around and being like, the doctor's not cool.
I love that guy, too, because he's not a named character. He's just man in suit who's like, oh, I've heard about him. He sucks. Like...
Why are we believing this rando that just come up out of nowhere? Like, there's all this stuff going on. He's like, oh, by the way, just ignore all this big, giant scorpion business. I have to tell you, the doctor's bad. We talked about the mom. We talked about the sister. The brother is kind of there.
Kinda. In my experience, that is what brothers are like.
Does your brother listen to this podcast?
No! Let me tell you what, my brother texted me to say, oh shit, how was your birthday today?
Wow, that is 10 days later. That's over a week.
He does not listen to this podcast. So I can roast him however much I want. It's fine.
Suck it, Nick. But that's all I got. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Is this episode really about to be 15 minutes long?
Love, I edit this down. It's going to be less than that. I don't have anything to say. Nothing happens in it.
It doesn't even feel like there's enough to pull it apart. It's not like, oh, well, I see where they had this idea, and if it had been executed a little bit differently, then it could have...
There's no meat.
There's no meat.
Oh, doctor, don't just pick up people's underwear?
Yeah, that's rude.
That was rude. I didn't care for that. Also, we had that fake out ending of, oh, well, goodbye. You're not a companion. Goodbye. And then at the end, she gets promoted to full-time companion. It just felt like a lot of like, why are we having this? Why couldn't she just be the companion from the beginning? Why have we had this weird little mini arc?
The like pretense.
Yeah, where she's like gotta earn her right to be a companion over 4 episodes or something. I don't get it. I don't think it's needed. Because like, she's done a bunch of shit before now. Could have just been like, yeah, let's just continue to hang out. Instead, it's gotta be this whole big thing that makes Martha, that feels shitty towards Martha.
Yeah. Martha's never treated the way she should have been treated. To the point where, like, by the time she's like, this is me getting out, you're like, go, cool. Good for you. This has not been a good situation for you.
I got nothing else.
No.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for final thoughts, if we have any. Here's an ad.
Howdy! A new year means it's time for a new season of the Dragon Con Report.
We're here to help you plan, learn more about the con, and make the most of your trip.
From guest announcements to tips for navigating the con, we've got you covered.
Catch the latest episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
Because Dragon Con is better when you're ready for it.
The Dragon Con Report, your ultimate guide to the con of all cons.
Subscribe now and start your adventure.
And we're back. Toni, do you know what time it is?
God, I feel the need to really draw this bit out.
Because we've been so short.
We gotta really stretch for time.
Stretch for time. It doesn't have to be a long podcast. Are you feeling like we're not giving people their money's worth because they don't pay us?
Yeah, no, that was never a concern, I don't think.
I mean, we have some Patreon patrons. Thank you, Patreon patrons. But in general, I would assume like 95% of our audience.
I think if a patron writes in and says, hey, I don't feel like I got my money's worth, you need to record just 20 minutes of, I guess, stand-up. I could
make a new bonus episode I haven't done one of those in a
20
minute.
minutes of stand-up.
Stand-up? About what?
That is up to you.
Okay.
That goes out to our patrons. That goes out to the patron-only feed.
Hey, what's the deal with Santarns? Am I right? They don't even taste like potatoes.
But 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
So
oh, God.
More than that.
It's only if a Patreon patron writes in, though.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Please don't write in. You won't enjoy 20 minutes of stand-up from me. You just won't. Also, is it stand-up if you're doing it, like, in a podcast?
Just sit down.
All right. Also, I feel like you can't do stand-up without an audience. That feels weird.
We watched...
There was still an audience. It was her parents. I know who you're talking about.
There wasn't an audience for Inside.
Was that really stand-up?
Now we're getting into philosophical questions.
That was more of an art piece than it was stand-up.
All right, do your 20-minute comedy art piece.
All right, fine. If the Patreon patron says they didn't get their money's worth out of this episode, I will record a 20-minute comedy art piece.
What's the minimum to donate on Patreon?
I think you can donate as much as you want, but I think the bottom tier is like $3 or is $1. $3 is the lowest to actually get something, though.
I got $3.
No, you can't You can't become.
Why not?
With taxes that get taken out, we would be making less money if you became a patron.
Yeah, but I would get to see you do 20 minutes of stand-up.
You could just convince one of the other Patreon patron members to do it. Jeez.
All right. Would you like to do final thoughts?
Oh, fuck. Sure. You want to go first?
God, no, not really. I don't really have any thoughts. There's not much to it, really. There's not much to discuss. The best thing that could be said about this episode is that Mark Gatiss is having a good time, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, like, it isn't terrible. There's nothing in it that makes me go, God, I wish this was over. Yeah. It's just nothing. Nothing happens. It's one extended chase sequence. Yeah. For 30 of the 40 minutes. Which is, it seems weird to be saying that about an episode 2 that does so heavily involve a companion's family, that you think you ought to be able to be like, oh, yeah, like, we really learned a lot about this companion and established them as a character and stuff. And we learned more about her family, which I felt like we got a lot from, like, Rose's family. Yeah. But in this episode, no. Also, not for nothing, but I don't think I like anyone about this family. They all kind of suck. Well, the brother doesn't do anything to come off as sucky. He just isn't there. The sister has that weird, I'm gonna flirt with the bad guy thing. The mom's grumpy. The dad's not even in this episode. Yeah. And then the brother is just there. They just seem like they care about appearances a lot. In a way that is off-putting to me. So, yeah. This is just, you can skip this one. It's not important. I mean, I guess if you want to see Martha officially become a companion, give it a shot, but otherwise, skip it. This is bad. We're in a streak of bad episodes. It's alright, because we're about to get to my favorite companion of all time. It's true. I mean, we got like 4 episodes before then. Maybe 5. I don't know. I'm not sure. But then we get to Donna Noble. But we got to finish this season. Anything we need to plug? Your stand-up. Mine stand-up. Joe's 20 minutes of stand-up, which will be coming out on a Patreon feed to you soon. If a Patreon patron asks me to do it. This is a test on you guys. I will say go to mintypineapple.com/consume. I've got a new series up and running there where I'm going through all comic book media in order. But also, I threw up a couple of old articles I had written. There's one about Star Wars Babies, a Muppet Babies style Star Wars spinoff. I did one on my Howard the Duck pitch, but the one you guys would probably be most interested in is I ranked the top 10 Doctor Who props that look like dicks. That's the kind of dumb shit you're interested in, right? You like Doctor Who dicks, right? It's called The Fallacy of Doctor Who, and that is spelled with a PH. Okay, Type 5. Right now? Right now. No, I don't have a Type 5. I know you do. Don't lie to me. I don't have a Type 5. I don't. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm more of like, I do like a crowd work.
You do crowd work.
I do crowd work. Like, where are you from?
Here.
That's fucking stupid. Who would be from here? Look at you, being all from here. Stupid. What do you do for a living?
This?
This? That is really stupid. Who would do this for a living?
That's actually
stupid.
A great question.
That's all I got. Tip your waiter. If you like this episode of the podcast, check out more on watchyourassalon.com. They're generally longer. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at linktree/Watch-A-Thon. Hey, give us like 5-star reviews and stuff.
If you do, we'll add a minute to that 20 minutes for every 5-star review. So we're starting at 20 minutes. One 5-star review, that's 21 minutes. 2 5-star reviews, that's 22 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
5-star reviews, and that's 25 minutes of comedy that Joe
has to perform. And you also have to
perform.
send in proof that you did 5 stars, because I'm not sure how to like calculate that myself. Take like a screenshot or something. Oh God, this is gonna backfire on me so bad. This is the only time that I've really wished and really hoped that no one actually listens to this. I also want to give a special shout out to Vince and EL for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com, and tune in next time when we talk about 42, the shortest title of any Doctor Who episode. It's literally two numerals, 4 and a 2.
How disappointed were you when this aired and it wasn't about hitchhikers?
The most disappointed. It was the beginning of a series of disappointments from Chris Chibnall.
We have like an ongoing thing where we haven't watched this yet. I maintain that it is a good episode, and Joe maintains that it isn't. And
I think there's one good moment in it, and the rest is not that good.
But we haven't watched it again yet, and so the whole thing is we need to watch it again and see which one of us is wrong.
And if you change your mind, if you agree that it's not that good of an episode, you got to do 20 minutes of stand-up.
20 minutes of stand-up from me?
From you. Yeah. So you better like this next episode. But until next time, keep calm and wrestle on.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
Oh, look, they got nibbles. I love nibbles.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.